Yesterday, the UK government made a pretty groundbreaking announcement about England's rail network fundamentally changing how things have worked for decades. However, the opposition and some experts seem unimpressed. So let's explain exactly what's changing right now. Before we start, a super quick shout out to our Patreon backers who chose this video topic over the Princess Diana story. If you disagree with their choice or want to have a say next time, then sign up to your Patreon too. For only $3 a month, you get priority YouTube comments and the ability to vote in polls like this. And of course, there's more perks if you donate more. Get all of the info you need and sign up by clicking the link in the description. So, trains. Before we start, some context as how the rail network operated in England since 1996. In the 90s, the major government introduced their rail franchise model as part of their plan to privatise British Rail, dividing the network into different chunks, each of which would be auctioned off to different operators. These operators were then in charge of running the trains within their designated area, taking full commercial risk, but also keeping whatever profit they're able to make. Obviously after paying the franchise fee they agreed during the tendering process, and paying fees to Network Rail for track access and the lease of stations. The logic was that because private companies were competing for the franchise, and because they wanted to earn a good profit, market forces and competition would improve the rail service. How well this works depends on who you ask though. Proponents would point to stats like rail usage, which has increased significantly since the system was introduced, using this as evidence of the system's success. Others will say that in fact this was due to a myriad of other factors, such as an increase in commuters, rather than better service increasing rail use, with critics often pointing out that competition is pretty limited. Often with only one company running trains in a region, travellers who want to go between two destinations often have little to no choice as to who they travel with, rather limiting the free market impacts. Anyway, this system ran for over 2 decades, and while there were major criticisms and controversies, it took a pandemic to truly shake things up. The pandemic hit rail companies hard. With far fewer people riding and paying for tickets, the companies struggled to pay the fees they owed, and the government had to step in to bail them out, offering huge loans. That was until September of last year, when the government announced a major change. They were axing rail franchises. Then yesterday, the big news emerged as to the government's full plans, which they said would offer a better and more efficient service to travellers. The new system sees all of the English rail network reunified, and instead of companies competing for rail contracts, the system will be managed centrally, and private companies will be offered passenger contracts, whereby they're paid flat rates to operate in regions, rather than taking all of the profit and all of the responsibility. The government promised that this new unified approach would help simplify things for customers, making ticket purchasing simpler, increasing the availability of pay-as-you-go journeys across the whole network, and unifying the refund system. They also say that the new Great British Railways will increase investment in accessibility, offer more bike space, and offer new season tickets. Ordinarily, season tickets offer a discount only to those who travel 5 days a week, but these new flexible ones will make travelling cheaper even for those who only travel in occasionally, making life easier for people planning to return to the office only 2 or 3 days a week. However, initial information suggests that these tickets will only reduce costs by about 10%, far less than standard season tickets. Despite being long-time supporters of renationalisation, Labour seem unimpressed with the plans, describing it as having very little substance and highlighting the potential for price hikes. Others have also commented that this new approach will place even more of the cost for COVID at the feet of the taxpayer, leading some to suspect that costs may be cut to make up for this, potentially making service worse rather than better. In fact, Labour even accused the government of using these changes to mask cuts in the sector, something they denied. What do you think though? Is removing the system of tendering and franchising a good idea? And is this new approach a good one? Or should private companies be removed from the system altogether and be replaced by a fully nationalised option? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video. Special thanks to our Patreon backers who make videos like this one possible. And if you want to see your name at the end of videos, then you too can back us on Patreon. The link to that's in the description.